I'm Tim Spire with Unisorb, Vice President of Marketing. Today I've got John Heron and Jenna Luban from our engineering department. We're going to talk about vibration survey services that Unisorb offers. We want to talk about how we do it, when we do it, what the appropriateness is of vibration surveys. So I guess, John, I'll start off with you. When do we like to see as the appropriate time to be at a customer's facility and collect vibration data?
Okay, we like to be there fairly early in the process, fairly early in the program, so that you can have some understanding of what your environment is, and then you can go ahead and plan appropriately for whatever that environment and the machinery you're using requires.
Right, like data specifications,
Correct.
Whatnot for the
Yes.
machinery.
Yep.
And, you know, when we get that, the data specs, Jenna, how do you like pre-set up our equipment before we get there, once you understand what the specs are for the equipment?
So what we do is determine if it's a sensitive piece of machinery or it's a large vibratory source.
Like a CMM machine or like a machine tool doing a roughing cut?
Yep.
That's great, okay.
And that will help us determine what equipment, because there's different ranges our equipment goes, and
Mhm.
based on knowing more about the machine, we can determine what to use.
Right on. And I know that just a week ago you were at a big manufacturer and you went in. What does that process look like? You show up at the plant, you get out of the car, you walk in the door, you greet the people that we're going to meet with, and where does it go from there?
Well, we walk up to the facility and see all of the different machines that are running into the vibration survey locations, and we kind of scout out where to best place the equipment.
Okay. And so when you're there like that, and I know there's certain things that we want to make sure that we catch during the survey, you know, normal operating environment, what are some of the other things, John, that we look for during the data collection portion?
Well, typically we'd like to see large events that may be occurring on a routine basis, things such as forklift trucks, overhead crane operations, so things of that nature, loading dock activities.
Right. Especially the guy that might be backing into that loading dock extra
Yes.
hard on a day that you would have other guys that are more careful.
Yep.
Events like that are important to catch because it's what do we call that event? Like a...
Well, it's an impact event standard. It's a frequently a one-off.
Right. All right, so now that we've been there and collected the data, how long does it typically take to collect the data?
Depends on the type of survey, but
Mhm.
it can range within about an hour or so of data collection, or it could be 24 hours.
Right, we've certainly seen those special projects where they require 24-hour data collection, specific reasons that you know, we certainly are aware of. So once we have the data, you guys have a process where you bring the data back here from the data acquisition unit, and then you start to build out a report. What is included in our report, and what is the communication going to provide to a customer? Either one of you.
Okay.
So in the report, we tell a little introduction about where we place our equipment, and gives you a picture of it, along with some background details of vibration data and how to read it. And we also give a graphic of the vibration data so we know if it's above or below the spec.
Compare the actual collected data with the specification, right? So our output goal as a deliverable is going to be our vibration survey report. So we're going to review the data that was collected, compare it with the specifications that we were given in the beginning, and then produce a report out. So as a customer, how do I review that data? How do I know what my next step is?
Well, it depends on what the day is being used for. So if you're looking at your overall shock event for something that's very sensitive, finished machining operation or something where one lift truck, one outside event can cause problems. Or if you're looking at vision systems where you can do a percent exceeding. So in other words, you can tolerate some of these events, perhaps even a large number of them. But you have to know how many of them exceed because that will affect your cycle time.
Wonderful. Sounds like a great opportunity for customers. I think that we understand the importance of vibration survey, and we also understand that Unisorb has this tremendous capability, a wonderful service. We provide great reports that start to develop a path that gives our end users factual information that they can use for planning and installation. So contact Unisorb, give us a call, let us be helpful in your machinery installation planning, and certainly with our vibration services, that's one step of the process that we can be very helpful in. Thanks for watching.